When you're looking at the markets, it can feel like just total chaos, right? Just noise everywhere. But what if there was a map? That's what we're doing today. We're going to deconstruct a professional's trading protocol. It's a system for finding clarity, a repeatable process, right in the middle of all that noise. And really, it all boils down to this one question. Think about it. In any high-stakes situation, what's the real difference between a disciplined pro and a gambler? It's not just luck, is it? No. It's having a structured plan versus just running on a gut feeling. In this slide, it just lays it all out, plain and simple. You've got two completely different worlds. On one side, there's emotional trading. It's impulsive, it's reactive, and man, is it stressful. But on the other side, you have protocol trading. It's systematic, patient, objective, and, maybe most importantly, repeatable. The whole point of this explainer is to figure out how we get from that chaotic side on the left to the clear side on the right. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about what it's like trying to trade without a map. Then, we'll get into the good stuff, the reversal sequence protocol. We're going to break it down into two parts, setting the stage and then confirming the turn. After that, we can't forget the human element. That's huge. And finally, we'll see how this whole thing can be boiled down into something incredibly simple. So what exactly is this solution? Well, it's called the reversal sequence protocol. And honestly, the best analogy for it is a pilot's pre-flight checklist. It's a series of steps, and you cannot skip any of them. You have to confirm each one in order before you even think about taking off. That's the whole idea here, to bring that same level of discipline and objectivity to every single decision. And here it is. This is the checklist, all 6 steps of the protocol. We start at the top, figuring out the big picture, and work our way all the way down to the final confirmation that the market is turning. We're going to go through every single one of these, but before we do, there's one massive, non-negotiable rule you absolutely have to get. And that rule is simple. The sequence is everything. You can't just jump from step 1 to step 4 because you feel like it. No, each step builds on the one before it. This isn't a buffet where you pick and choose what you like. It's a recipe. A linear, step-by-step process. No exceptions. And that leads to a really crucial point. If even one of these steps is missing, or maybe it's just not clear, then the whole protocol is broken. The setup is invalid. And that means there is no trade. Period. That is the discipline we're talking about. Having the strength to just walk away when the conditions aren't perfect. All right, let's dive in. Part 1 is all about setting the stage. These first 3 steps, their entire job is to build the context. They're designed to answer those huge, foundational questions. Where is the market probably going and why? So, step 1. We have to start with the 30,000-foot view. We're talking about the higher time frame institutional order flow. And this is way more than just looking at a chart and seeing if it's going up or down. It's about figuring out the market's overall program. Is it in a buy program or a sell program? And then understanding the story, the narrative that's driving that move. Okay, so once we know the general direction, step 2 gets more specific. We need to find the destination. This is called the draw on liquidity, or DOL. Just think of it like a magnet. It's a specific price level that the market is being pulled towards. Now, we don't just have a direction, we have a concrete target. So we've got our direction and we've got our target. Step 3 is about finding the launch pad. This is our point of interest, or POI. It's a specific zone on the chart where we think a reversal could start. But, and this is a big but, the reversal usually only happens after the market makes this crazy sharp, almost manipulative-looking move right into that zone. And this quote from the source material just nails the psychology of what's happening. That sudden, scary move into the POI, it's designed to create fear. It's designed to trap people. But for someone who's following a protocol, that moment of fear is the opposite. It's a signal. It's the sign that the opportunity is actually starting to take shape. Okay, so the stage is set. We know where the market is going, what it's aiming for, and where it might turn from. Now we get to part 2, confirming the turn. These next 3 steps are all about finding the evidence in real time. They answer the critical questions. Okay, is this turn actually happening right now? And what exactly does it look like? Step 4 adds a totally new dimension to this whole thing. Time. Time of interest means it's not enough for the price to be right, the time has to be right too.
These reversals tend to happen within very specific windows during the day, these so-called manipulation cycles. So if the price hits our perfect level, but at the wrong time of day, the protocol's broken. No trade.
Next up, step 5, is a really cool confirmation signal called SMT. It's all about looking for a divergence. Imagine you're watching two dancers who are supposed to be perfectly in sync. Then, suddenly one of them stumbles or does a different move. You'd immediately know something's up, right? It's the same idea in the markets. When two things that should be moving together stop doing so, it's a huge clue that the old move is running out of gas and is probably about to end.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, step 6. CSD. That stands for a change in the state of delivery. This is it. This is the final, undeniable proof you're looking for. It's a visible, structural shift you can actually see on the chart that tells you, yep, the market's internal programming has officially flipped from selling to buying, or the other way around. So what are we actually looking for? How do we see this change on a chart? Well, there are 3 key signs. First, price might just rip through a level it was struggling with before. Just smashes right through it. Second, you see new, powerful momentum being created in the opposite direction. And third, the chart will often form a very specific pattern, a kind of breaker block that serves as the final concrete confirmation.
So, there you have it, our 6-step technical protocol. But wait, we're not done, because a system like this is totally incomplete if you only look at the charts. A perfect technical model means absolutely nothing if you don't account for the most unpredictable variable of all, the human element. You. You see, real long-term success seems to rest on these 3 pillars. You have the protocol, which tells you what to do. You have risk management, which tells you how much to risk. And then you have operator management, which is all about how you manage yourself, your own psychology, your own discipline. If any one of those pillars crumbles, the whole thing can come crashing down.
And that brings us right to the end. After going through all this complexity, all these steps, all these rules, you might think the goal is to just pile on more and more, but it's not. The real goal is the exact opposite. It's to understand this so deeply that you can boil it all down to its simplest, most essential form.
I mean, this quote from the source just says it perfectly. The goal isn't to create a 100-page binder full of rules. The real end state, the real mastery, is having a model so clear, so refined, you could basically fit the whole thing on a business card. That's clarity.
And here it is. After everything we've talked about, this is what we're left with. A simple, clean, 6-step checklist. This is the model on a business card. This is the framework that takes all that chaotic data from the market and turns it into something clear, something actionable, and something you can repeat. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. In any complex field, I don't care if it's trading, engineering, art, whatever, is real genius found in adding more and more complexity, or is it found in the discipline, the elegance of taking things away until only the absolute essential is left?